Hey everybody, me here. I'm the one behind the camera this time. Um, just let you know, I'm actually working on a patio love seat. It's a pretty intensive build. It really wouldn't fit into the realistic woodworking theme, at least not uh, using the minimal tool set that I originally had planned, that I originally described for it. And it's such an extensive build that it would be a monster to actually try to break down into oh a series. In fact, right here, that's the bottom rung for the back seat support, and there's 14 mortise pockets in it, and just that one piece alone. So just for the back, you'll have 28 mortise and tenon joints. That's not counting the the bottom seat supports, the side supports, the armrest. So yeah, but so I'm taking time doing that. So that's kind of what I've been doing woodworking wise. However, I just want to take this time to just pop in and not only just say why I haven't posted in a while, not that anybody cares, but also it gives me a chance to do a new feature, check out a new feature where I'm recording straight to YouTube instead of recording, then uploading. It takes forever to upload from my phone. So even a 20-minute video can take up to over 24 hours to upload. So if I can record directly to YouTube, I can cut out a lot of wasted time. So I want to see how this turns out. Matter of fact, there's a good chance that possibly nobody will see this if this doesn't turn out right. Also, I just wanted to go over some kind of some tropes that I've found recently while looking at other woodworking channel videos. Not that this is going to be a woodworking channel video, a woodworking channel. I mean, I'm going to do that still, but I also plan to still do music stuff. I also plan to still do personal thought stuff. So, you know, this is still going to be a whatever I feel like at the time channel. But since I do woodworking videos, I have been looking at other people, other channels, and I've noticed that there's a lot of tropes there. Like one of the main tropes is tool comparisons, like, you know, this brand against that brand, or this grade of tool against that grade of tool. I'm not going to do that, because here's why. One, I think the whole thing's dumb, because really, tool buying comes down to the individual. As I said in one of my previous series, if you're the type of person who needs the most expensive of everything, then that's what you're going to get no matter what. If you're the person who needs the cheapest of everything, that's what you're going to get no matter what. So it really doesn't matter what anybody says. And most of your, mainline tools are going to be roughly around the same quality. I mean, this right here, this is a Stanley 202 chisel. I call it a mortising chisel because it has really thick sides. Although a traditional mortising chisel would be square the whole way up. It wouldn't have any bevel to it. This has a slight bevel on the edge, but the sides are thick enough that that's what I use it for. And this isn't, and the 202s aren't even like Stanley's Premier line. There's a lot of lines that it has above it, like the Baileys and the 750s, but they work fine. I mean, they chop. They definitely chop. In fact, I just sharpened it up, and I did, using a proper sharpen, my normal 4-stone sharpening process, not the single stone from what I did for the realistic series. And yeah, I chopped 12 mortise pockets with it, because I already chopped 2 before I sharpened it. The blade's still really sharp, and some of the places where I chopped into had a knot, but it still handled it really well. So yeah, I mean, the same, this block plane here, the regular contractor grade. Like I said, I've had this for years and years and years, and it's held up great. I've even dropped it a few times on concrete, and it's fine. So yeah, so yeah, so most of the tools you're going to find in the hardware stores are going to be fairly decent. Some won't be. I mean, we all know kind of where you go, well, where you don't go for tools. One prominent one has the initials of HF. But even there, you can get stuff that's halfway decent. I mean, really decent enough for just hobby work, which is what I'm assuming that most of you are going to be. Just hobbyists, just doing this for fun. So yeah. So, and another reason why I think those are kind of dumb, or because, well, why I won't be doing them, is because I can't afford it. I can't afford to buy, high-end tools just to do a test. I don't have a Patreon, so that means I don't have people giving me money to do stuff. I'm not begging people to send me money to do stuff. If you send me money, I'm just going to spend it on myself. So, and pay bills and buy my kids toys and, do stuff like that. So, yeah, if you want to send me money so I can live a life and, stop working full time, that's fine. But it's not going into the channel, I can tell you that much. So, yeah, so I can't afford to do, tool comparison and tool reviews. And also, I don't have the room for it. I mean, where am I going to put, 10 different, 10 different makers or brands of, smoothing planes or chisels or all that stuff. So, yeah, it's not, yeah, and by the way, you can hear a whole lot of noise. Sorry about that. Apparently my family figured that this would be the perfect time to yell at each other and listen to the TV at full blast. But oh well, that's family life. If you got a family, you know the score. You know the deal. I don't need to tell you all that. So, I don't have the money to do tool reviews. I don't have the room to store the tools. And I'm certainly not giving away, $400, $500, $800 planes and saws to Goodwill or Habitat for Humanity for them to sell in their restore. If anything, if I had that type of money, I would just give it to them directly. So, yeah, so I don't have the room, I don't have the money, and frankly, I just think they're dumb. If you like them, fine. But if you don't, but if you're like me and you don't, and you think they're dumb, then don't worry, I ain't doing them. Another thing, another trope that I see a lot is, how to fix up a $20 plane to be a super cutter, or fixing up a chisel or something like that. I mean, I'm not saying those are in the same category as the tool testing, but because they have actual merit. But if you get if you get any sort of mainline tool, it's going to work fairly good straight out of the box. I haven't really had any issues with any plane I have not really working. The only plane that I ever had a real issue with was the Stanley #2 plane my mom got me for Christmas one year. And that's because somebody found one that had been rusted to hell and back, sandblasted it, and completely destroyed the sole of the plane. So it was completely, all messed up. It wasn't flat at all. I eventually went on eBay and found a new sole, and that worked. But outside of all those, all my new tools that I bought brand new in the box, I never really had any issues with them. I sharpened it up, put them to work, and they've all worked fine. I think that there's a lot of tool dogma, especially when it comes to planes, where I think it's overhyped. Like sole flatness. A lot of the Japanese tools, a lot of the Japanese planes, their planes are kind of concave. They're not perfectly flat. And think about it, in the old days, what a lot of, the Romans had metal planes. They had infill planes. But after Rome fell and Europe went into the Dark Ages, they lost the know-how to make metal planes. But so for centuries, planes were made out of wood. Well, wood warps. Sometimes it warps severely. So a lot of those planes weren't flat soled. So I'm not saying that a really warbly sole will work, because obviously it won't. I ran into that with the #2. But yeah, does it need to be perfectly dead flat? No. So I won't be doing any of that. Now, one thing I will say, if you notice, all my tools are Stanley tools. And I explained why. I think Stanley is, when it comes to price versus quality, they hit that sweet spot. Like, for the price point and for the quality, they're dead on. You're not going to find a cheaper tool that's better, and you're not going to find a better tool that's cheaper. So that, and I like the fact that I only have to deal with one manufacturer. One manufacturer for my marking gauges, for my brace and bit, for my chisels, my planes, my mallet, my measuring devices, my marking and layout devices. I'm not dealing with a whole lot of different companies and all that. But if you've ever wondered that what I would, if money was no object and I was starting over, what brand I would use, I would probably go with Thomas Flynn. Thomas Flynn is a tool maker out of England. They're from Sheffield, England. They make a bunch of different saw types, from Lee and Dorshire to Pax and Gaelic and Son, and so And they also make Clifton planes. And I think they own Crown Tools now as well. So Crown chisels and Crown measuring and marking tools. So if I were to start over with money as no object, those would probably be the tools that I would go with. I think they're absolutely beautiful looking. I've never had the opportunity to use one, so it could be that they look great but perform like crap. But their reputation is pretty stellar. I haven't heard too many things bad about them. And honestly, if you're going to sell tools for that high cost, and still be in business over decades, I highly doubt you're selling crap. So, yeah. Let's see. What else? Oh, what's another big trope I've seen over the various videos? Oh yeah, toolkit recommendations. Okay, I kind of did that at the start of this, so yeah, I fell into that trap. But that's kind of a necessary evil. I mean, how are you gonna start woodworking if you don't have tools? So, yeah, that's one trope, but it's a necessary trope. What else? Oh, yeah. Benches. I understand why a lot of people make bench making videos and stuff like that. But honestly, benches are one of those things that it's like cooking. You're not gonna find what you like until you make it. And you're going to have to do a whole lot of making before you finally find something that you really like. I've had several different benches that I've made through the years. This is my current one. It's a Roubeau style one. It's made out of hard maple. I got the plans from the Woodwright shop. Mine's a little bit bigger. The actual one from the show, the plans was only about 5 feet long. This is 8 feet. It's really solid, really sturdy. But the bench top is really narrow. I'm not a big fan of that. And the leg vise is a pain in the butt. It will not tighten. And I remember an episode of the Woodwright shop where even Roy Underhill said that the leg vise won't tighten. So, apparently Andre Roubeau wasn't as that good. Yeah, he was, but yeah, apparently his leg vise sucks. Yeah, I mean, but there's an older bench that I use as my sharpening bench now. It's decent enough. And I even said how there's my kid's bench that I made. Yeah, and no bench is perfect. Every bench that you make is going to have one area that's going to frustrate you to no end. Because one bench can't do everything. It just can't. It can do a lot of things well. Some things it'll do excellently, but some things it'll be crappy at. So the only way you're gonna find out which features you like and which features you don't is until you've made one, worked with it for a few years, make another one, work with that it's gonna take you at least a decade, if not more, to find a bench design where you're like, hi. That's good. Yeah. All right. Yeah. This is the design I like. So, yeah, and that's pretty much it. So, I'm hitting the around the 20-minute mark. I think that's enough for this. I've rambled on enough. And so for a test video, I think I will call that. Alright, everybody. Have a good one.